What up, guys? It's Matt. Trying something new right now in the car. I actually have my camera mounted on the tripod, and I'm kind of using it like a monopod a little bit. Again, just because I haven't got around to ordering a new phone mount. So right now I'm driving to take my ClinSims. It's been a week today since I took and passed my TMC, and so I don't know what to think. I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous, more nervous than I was for the TMC, I feel like, but I've been doing a lot of studying. Not too much studying though. I mean, like I said, I like to take it easy. Yesterday was Memorial Day, and then I've been sick. I actually caught strep throat. So I've been dealing with that. Wound up going to urgent care last Friday and had a positive rapid test done for strep throat. So I've been on antibiotics. I really couldn't even swallow food, even though my other symptoms had gone away. The sore throat was so intense that every time I swallowed food, I mean, it was like swallowing rocks. If you've ever had strep throat, you probably know the sensation I'm referring to. So even though it wasn't painful, it was just hard. It was so irritated that it was hard to eat. So even Memorial Day, didn't get to enjoy lots of delicious grilled food. I did manage to eat like one plain hamburger with like no condiments or anything else on it. So that was what it was. But it didn't deter me. I'll say this. It's been a rough go. Now that I'm out of the program, I'm trying to get these tests done. One thing I'll say is life still happens. So getting sick, that's just one example. Another example is this, since Tuesday, since I took my TMC, my wife, just the way her schedule stacked up, she worked Thursday and Friday, this week, or last week, I'm sorry. And Friday she was on call, and she didn't get home until I think 10 or 10:30, and that was the day I went to urgent care sick. So luckily my mother-in-law managed to get out of her work early, come over to help watch the kids so I could rest. And then my wife was back on call on Sunday and worked basically another full day, like 13 hours on Sunday. So again, it was just difficult because if you have kids, especially, you understand how hard it is to watch kids when you're sick, or even if you're just feeling under the weather, you know, just not necessarily like full-blown sickness, but and then and then start trying to find time to study for, you know, one of the biggest exams of your life. It's nerve-wracking, it's stressful. Stress doesn't help your sickness. It's hard to keep a straight and forward-moving thought process on all this stuff. So yeah, it's been one hell of a time this week, but I still managed to get my studying done, especially the last Sunday, when the kids were down, I managed to do a lot of studying. And then yesterday, I know normally I take it easy the day before. Obviously, circumstances didn't really allow that. I didn't go like crazy and study from the crack of dawn until, 10 at night. I just did what I needed to do. I did wind up purchasing Tutorial Systems, the subscription-based exam prep stuff. I'll post a link in the description to them. They have what I love is it's very simple. They have a very simplistic setup. It's $20 a month. They have a TMC. They have a review, and then they have practice tests for the TMC, and then they have the practice clinical sims. I think they have like a total of 40 clinical simulations. And what I like about theirs is they don't tell you too much about the ClinSims on like the checkbox, right? So you can check as few or as many as you want to do. And it'll just tell you like neuro or COPD or trauma, cardiac. It doesn't tell you something specific. So once the sim starts, it's still for you to figure out. I mean, with the neuro, was it a brain injury from a trauma, or was it myasthenia gravis, or is it Guillain-Barré? You know, the cardiacs don't tell you if it's an MI or CHF or some sort of right-sided heart failure. So I really liked that. I highly recommend Tutorial Systems. It helped me build my confidence a lot. I was very unconfident practicing my sims. And I still went back and did Lindsey Jones, and what I found impressive was that going back and doing some of the Lindsey Jones sims. Now, granted, yes, I've done all of those Lindsey Jones sims, but it's been a few weeks since I last looked at any of them, so I tried to pick ones that I traditionally did weekend. There's a particularly nasty, like 15 slide long ventilator liberation team one on Lindsey Jones that I went back and did, and I wound up doing like stellar on it. And it wasn't so much recalling the answers, it was like actually understanding, looking at vent settings, looking at weaning parameters, and it made me feel good. It culminated me last night. I got home from my mother-in-law's house, 8 o'clock, we got our kids put down, and at 9 o'clock I logged onto the nbrc.org and I pulled up their practice ClinSims. They have 2 free simulations that you can pull up, and I did those and passed both of them. Like I think with a 91%. So to me, it validated that, hey, maybe I know what the hell I'm doing. Taking my time. Like, I'm known for doing things fast, but honestly, the sims, like, slowing down, at least what I consider slowing down, helped me tremendously, stopping and thinking about every detail. Every time I click a test and reading what that test did, not just trying to click all the tests you think would qualify for that scenario, but clicking each test and reading what did you just, diagnostically, what did you just find out? You auscultated the chest, what did you hear? You ordered a chest x-ray, what did you see? And just putting the picture together, that's really the key, when you understand the disease processes and things. So I'm going in, so I'm feeling good. Again, like I said, I'm a little nervous, but ultimately, like, I feel prepared. So yeah, I'm hopefully gonna go crush these sims right now. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this off, and I will pick you guys back up when I'm done. All right, guys. So I just got on my sims, and I guess this is just kind of representative of how I feel right now.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
All right, guys. So, as you can probably assume from that celebratory dance, I passed. I passed my sims. I crushed it. Let's see, I can't quite see. I got like a 339, and I needed a 289 to pass. So I don't know. It's like a feeling that's been long awaited. Worked my ass off for this last 2 years. I'm just happy. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, it's hard to describe how I feel right now in words. I'm so happy right now. Alright, guys, so just some things to expect with the ClinSims. So the first thing to expect with the sims is just be sure to read the scenario all the way through. And then as you go down, even if you're really confident in what you're selecting, and be sure to just watch your mouse. Well, last thing you want to do is click like picking some weird reflex, you know, for a patient who's like conscious or something. Yeah, it's just be kind of conscious of your selections there. Don't think too hard, you know, about them, and take your time. You know, the sims are essentially, I mean, especially if you've been doing practice sims are essentially a kind of just a more involved analysis question that you'd see on a TMC. Read the question. I mean, you know, if it's easier for you on your scratch paper, you know, write down like the pertinent details. Like if they tell you a 62-year-old man with a 80-pack year history and give you like, you know, write that stuff down. You can pull it from the fluff if it makes it easier for you to reevaluate. I mean, I don't do that, but I thought like, you know, like that may be helpful, especially like if you start getting a little like spun and a lot of the fluff they put into those scenarios sometimes. And just be weary of things you don't know what they are. Now, that's not an excuse to not know what all the stuff is necessarily, but I mean, if you've never heard of the Moro reflex or Babinski reflex or doll's eyes, then maybe you know what those are. But to be honest, I've never had a sim where those were the right answers, but I've seen them on almost every single information, like initial information gathering scenario. So don't all of a sudden, you know, have the good idea fairy come and like slap you in the face and think like, oh, well, maybe it's that today. Like it's not. It's so yeah. Basically, if you don't know what it is, don't click it. There's no reason to. You can't go back and change answers, which I guess is good on the Clin Sims. Yeah, I mean, and as you just read each scenario, just, you know, take a deep breath, think, you know, not like kill yourself thinking, but, you know, just, you know, the stuff, you know, your vent settings, I didn't have a single vent setting selection where the respiratory rate was under 12 or over like 14. So that is to say that you're probably like erring on the better end, you know, to not select respiratory rates as high as 16 or greater or below 12, you know. Like I saw 10 as an option on a few, but I pride myself on my ability to pick ventilator settings properly, and ultimately I think there was only one ventilator setting that I messed up throughout my sims, so that felt pretty good. You know, I'm still nervous to go through them, because, you know, I guess you just, the other thing I'll say is it's really nerve-wracking because the MBRC is nice enough that the last slide of every scenario, it tells you like at the top, like this is the last slide of the scenario, like right above where you get to the last description or whatever. So I'm like, oh, like that's nice of them, you know, to tell you that. But then they, whether most of them end on a decision making. I think a couple of them I had ended on information gathering where you were picking multiple things and you were having to manually click, you know, go to the next section to end the scenario. But I'd say the majority of them, at least 18, 19 of the 22, are into decision making. And I'll be very honest with you that it's nerve-wracking because not a single final decision-making slide when I clicked an answer told me to make another selection. Now, you may think like, well, Matt, that's a good thing, right? I have no idea, is my response to that. I really don't know. For all I know, they all just say end of simulation. So, yeah, that's a little nerve-wracking. Because you really don't know. I mean, maybe I was picking the right thing and I shouldn't be so hard on myself. And I shouldn't, I passed. But at the same time, that's just super nerve-wracking because you have no... It wasn't like physician agrees into simulation. It would just say done. end of simulation or just end of simulation. So don't get nervous or discouraged by that, I guess. I mean, it's weird that it happened a bunch, but anyways, guys, all right, that's it. Signing off is Matt, RRT, and I'll talk to you guys soon.